To round out our discussion about files, in this movie I want us to take a look at how we can get some of the information about the file details. We've already seen file size. We're going to look at meta information that we can get about each file. So we'll go to TextMate and we'll just open up a new window, and I'll save it as file details.php, and that's in my B2B sandbox. And we'll start our PHP tags. And to start us off, let's go ahead and just put in file size, just so that we remember how to do that. So that's just simply the file size, and then we pass it in the file name. That'll echo it back to us. And then the next one that I want us to look at are the modification times about files. And there's actually more than just one number associated with this. There's actually 3 different ones, and we're going to get them using file M time, file C time, and file A time. Just put little colons after that to clean that up a little bit. The file M time is the last time that the content of the file was modified. So the file modification time. It's the content inside the file. We also have file C time. Some people mistakenly think that that's the creation time. That's not the case. It's the last changed time when the file was changed. We don't have access to the creation time. So it's the last changed time, and that's both changing the content or the metadata, the permissions, the owner, the group that it belongs to, all those sort of things that we learned how to do with chmod and chown. That includes those in file C time. And then last one is file A time. It actually keeps track of when a file was last accessed. So not only making those changes like we do with C time or M time, but in addition, anytime we read the file, anytime we read back the contents of the file, it updates that access time. So let's try all of those. Each one of them is going to take the file name as an argument, and it's going to return back a Unix timestamp. And we saw how we can use string for time right here, string f time, and that will turn that timestamp into something that we can see. So let's just try that on this file name and see what we've got. Yours will almost certainly be different than mine, but you'll be able to see the difference between the times that your file was modified, created, or accessed. So I'll just open up Firefox, and let's go to file details.php. So there we go. The size came back as 11. That's the first one. And then my modification times were all the same. So my file at 12/10/2008 at 13:05 is when my file was changed and updated. Now, you may have different values, or you may have the same value for all of those. One way that we can modify those times is with the touch command. So touch file name is going to say, update those to the current time. We can also pass in some other additional arguments to tell it what time it should set it to. But what we're going to do for now is just say, set it to the current system time. Just sort of reach out and flip all of these times to be the current time. And then let's re-echo it just to see what time we get back. And we'll go back and we'll reload the page. Now just reload it once at first, okay? And notice what happens. So I hit reload. Now the times didn't change. The times are the same. If I reload it again, watch what happens though. They changed. The reason why is because there's some caching going on. These values are being stored the first time it goes and finds them, and touch does not change that. It does not flush the cache. So when we go here and we output it a second time, it's bringing up the cached values. So just because we touched it does not mean that we did not get the cached values back again. So we were getting old information at this point. It was outdated. When we reloaded the page, then we got the new times. So I just wanted to show you it by doing it twice so that you see that it is a cached value. And if you use touch, you may not get the right information here. You might be getting some old data back. So just to show you the difference, let's go in and actually open up filetest.txt, and let's just make a change. Let's say GHI. There we go. And it's going to want me to put in my master password, and that's because I'm not the owner of the file. www is the owner. So that's why it came up and asked me for that. You may need to do the same kind of authentication, or you can do this with another file where you do still have permission to do it. So let's try that out now and just see, now that we've changed the content, everything changed. If we instead go through and do a read, let's wait 1 second. And after a good minute has passed, and you're pretty sure that a minute is over, we can do file read.php, and we'll read it. And then when we come back and do file details, oh, they're all still updated. Let's turn off our touch, first of all, so that it doesn't touch them anymore. Let a minute pass, then run read, and then you should see a difference. Now, I'm not going to wait a whole minute and have you sit here and wait with me, but you can do that and you'll see that the access time is different. And you can also try chmod and doing the chown and see the difference there and how that affects the different values. You might want to take off this touch the same way I did, just to make sure that you don't accidentally reset those values when you're trying to see the values change because of other actions you did. The last thing I want to show you about the file information that you can get back is path info. So I'm going to take just the current file that I'm in and ask for its path info, and it's going to return an array. I'm call it path parts, but it's an array of information that it gives back. And basically what it does is it takes the information about this file and parses it, puts all the pieces into an array that then we can retrieve. And so here's the things we can retrieve back. I can ask for its dir name. That's the directory name that it's in, and that will return the path all the way up to where the file is. Base name will give me the name of the file with its extension. File name, starting in PHP 5.2, will give me everything but the extension. And then, of course, I can ask for the extension just to get that part. So there's some variations you can look up on path name, some options we can pass to it, but this is essentially the way it works. It takes a file, parses its path into pieces, and then we can retrieve just those bits of information, and PHP knows how to do that for us. Let's just try that and make sure that it works fine. There we are. It gives us exactly what we'd expect. I think this pretty well rounds out our discussion about files, and we've learned how to write to files and how to read from files and how to change their permissions. Now we're ready to move on to talk about directories, and that's what we'll do starting in the next movie.